Hello, I'm I'm Jared Trayers, and I just watched Christmas with the Kranks. It was fucking awful, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get everything down properly, and so I wrote some notes. I took some notes. I'm just gonna try to decipher them. Uh, my first note is that Tim Allen definitely took cocaine bumps on set. in, in one scene in particular, it's demonstrated when he keeps popping in and out of a room, more excited after every time he comes in and out. And he's just like, you can just hear him in the background going, you know. So, Christmas with the Kranks is a movie where these parents send their hot daughter off to fucking Peru or some shit. And they have a boring marriage. They're one of the families that are known for doing Christmas on their street, like every other fucking family on their street. And Tim Allen is like, I want to go on a cruise because I'm bored with my life and I want to hang myself from my roof with a noose. So they decide they're going to go on a cruise, and everybody starts freaking the fuck out. If you really want to see something interesting about this movie, check out Dan Aykroyd's hairline and the lack of hair he has on the top of his head by the dome, by the crown area. The dialogue in this movie, I've noted it to be sort of, just like written by preschoolers. It was really bad. It was very unnatural and just awful. Okay. So I took a few notes about this, but I'll try to sum it up for now, but I'll probably bring it up later anyway. I know this is going to sound bad, but we need to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis's tits. When did this movie come out? This came out in 2004, so this is like 11 years ago, so I don't know what activity it does to your system. I don't know what her tits look like now. But back in 1982, when they did Trading Places, she showed her tits, and they were fantastic, and they were huge. And in this movie, she puts on a two-piece, and from her midsection down, it's all like mom bod, like mom who's had 8 kids bod, and then her face and hairdo is all like, oh my god, this lady wants to speak with a manager or something, and then her tits are just like, bow! It's fantastic. I noted that a few times in here. Yeah. And I mean, the movie's it's so played out and just boring, unfunny jokes about very unnatural, unfunny situations and dialogue. The plot to the Hobbit movies is more realistic. So everybody, for some reason, keeps blaming Tim Allen specifically for wanting to not do Christmas. And just because, some people have this notion in their heads that they don't have to be psychopaths about Christmas and they can do what they want. And he doesn't get along with a neighbor's cat, and it looks like he needs a shower and shit. I wrote this down in here, and I feel like even if I wasn't drunk, I'd be saying this. The movie makes you feel like you want to pick off the neighbors of this film with a sniper rifle and do more than a double tap to make sure that they're dead. This movie has a huge absence of Tim Allen's noise that he's known for. Eric Pursullivan, who is the little kid from Malcolm in the Middle, played Dewey's in this movie. And it's funny, after this movie, you don't really see him other than Malcolm in the Middle, and I'm pretty sure it's because he killed himself for making this movie. This movie makes me wish that Michael Myers had killed Jamie Lee Curtis. Don Johnson makes an appearance during a Botox scene. The daughter is vaguely familiar. Kind of hot, I guess. And she's coming home, and everybody freaks the fuck out. Like, oh my god! If everything isn't set the way that she wants it to be set, the fucking world's gonna collapse. So everybody starts freaking out. For some fucking reason, Jamie Lee Curtis is wearing just turtleneck after turtleneck after turtleneck with Christmas sweater vests. And the only thing that they do is they add to her looking like a mom because they cover up her giant tits really well. There's a scene where Jamie Lee Curtis gets her ham smashed. That's all I got to say about that. And then this is something else I wrote down. I want to kill everyone in this film, anyone involved in this film, and especially the musicians involved with the hipster retarded Christmas soundtrack of this film. It was noted several times by my sister and by myself that all they did was just take shitty old school Christmas music and make it sound like shitty new age Christmas music. Is that a fair assessment of the soundtrack, would you say?
Just butchered all the classics.
Just butchered all the classics. There's a scene where Tim Allen tries to lynch Frosty the Snowman. It's very important to know. For no fucking reason at all, Cheech Marin and Jake Busey are just smoking doobies in the back of their cop car in this movie. And then this is something I wrote down, and I genuinely believe it. If anybody genuinely likes this movie, they should light themselves on fire very quickly. This movie made a gross in theaters of $96 million. And this is where I got into the budget of the film. Most of the budget of this film had to have gone to Tim Allen's cocaine relapse. $60 million. Was that the entire budget of the movie?
Yes.
Okay, excuse me. $59.99 million of this movie went to his relapse. The other part of the movie's budget went to the fucking turtleneck budget. This movie currently holds a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the only people that like this movie were evangelical a-holes. And then I just drew a picture of essentially this. This movie has horrible morals in it. It goes back to the whole thing about you can't do anything for yourself if your fucking neighbors don't approve. It doesn't make any sense. It's a very awful, awful film for morals. The story is very rushed, and it's a part of the whole chain of unnatural BS that goes on. It's a great promo for Honey Hickory Hams, or Hickory Honey Hams. There's a whole bunch of them in this movie. Remember the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen? That movie did it better. The Santa Claus 2 was awful, but it also did it better. And the Santa Claus 3, the escape clause, was an abortion, but it still did it better. Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, and really anybody in this movie could have been replaced by some sort of barn animal or a squirrel in a sweatshirt. Sorry, I was trying to read my own handwriting. The snow, the fake snow in the movie is really fake. Like, it's fake enough so that, like, when Tim Allen walks into the home of his neighbors and he's wearing, like, a black coat, and all the snow is still resting on the coat, like, 10 minutes later, not melted at all by the warmth of the house. Which leads me to believe that all of the fake snow in the movie is actually just cocaine that Tim Allen was just diving into, and as I described, making blow angels. People who've had lobotomies would like this movie. I noted that. This film's actually, it was, I guess, I mean, to be fair, it was really just towards the end. But there's some stuff in the end of the movie that really just, like, was just cashing in on the fact that Tim Allen was the star of the Santa Claus. They had a lot of stuff that was in the end that was very closely related to the Santa Claus. It also stole Tim Allen and took advantage of his cocaine relapse that he definitely went through while making this movie. This movie has a false perception about suburban moms. No suburban moms have tits that big or great. It's a very typical and stereotypical flute solo at the end of the movie when they pan out. Ooh, they're like, da-da-da-da-da, Merry Christmas. I just did an impression of it.
As opposed to like a really original flute
Da-da-da-da-da, Merry Christmas, shitty graphics. It was one wind instrument, and I'm pretty sure it was the flute. If not something worse, like the fucking oboe or something. In conclusion, I noted, I think in the beginning of this one or the beginning of the other one, that this movie currently holds a 2-star out of 5-star rating on Netflix, which again is really fucking generous. And I feel like even nowadays, if this was a direct-to-DVD release, I would still... I don't know. It was such a terrible fucking movie. I'm really glad that I was at least drunk while I was watching it, which means that I'll probably forget most of it. And,
I'm not going to let you forget it.
I will, however, never forget the scene where Tim Allen is revealing to Jamie Lee Curtis that they're going on, or he's bought tickets for a cruise, and he leaves the dinner table, and for some reason she just starts preparing herself. She's like, and just wipes herself down there, and starts getting hot for Tim Allen, and he comes out in like a fucking 99-cent pair of sunglasses and a cheap fucking Hawaiian shirt with like a jukebox on his shoulder, playing no music, just like walking out awkwardly dancing. And it's the scene where you can definitely tell that Tim Allen, every time he leaves the frame of a camera, he's taking a small bump of cocaine, coming back and keeps doing it. My theory is that they told, alright, Tim, we're going to have you come in and out like probably 2 or 3 times. That's sort of a joke. Just sort of, come in, put the radio down, go back, as a joke, and then come back dancing and then announce to her. So Alan's like, sort of bends over. Alright, whatever the fuck you want. I'll do it. It's
like 14 takes.
14 takes. Tim Allen, no, Tim, that's enough. That's enough. You don't have to keep going behind the wall. No. I just want to do that one more time.
I'm only present with this one.
I don't feel like that take was good enough.
Let's just run it like 6 more times to be safe.
I just need a minute to go over and listen to the script. Excuse me. In conclusion, don't see this shitty fucking film. Thank you for watching.